Hey, podcast family. I have waited such a long time to say this. Welcome to Motherhood in Black and White.
You're listening to Motherhood in Black and White.
Perfect. Thank you, ladies. You do it so much better than I do. I'm Kaanji.
I'm Tara.
And we are really excited to welcome you back to the conversation because it's been a minute.
It's been a really long minute. And it also has only been 5 minutes. It feels like yesterday.
It does. And it is so special to be back in this space. So podcast family, we know we may have let some of y'all down because the way we ended things was kind of like the cliffhanger to a TV show you've been watching for a few seasons and then it gets canceled.
That's exactly how it went.
You know? So it's like you're really invested in this show and they say they're going to come right back, which is what we did, Tara.
Correct.
So we said, and we're just going to refresh everyone, our podcast family. You know, we ended the season 4 with our 2022 year in review, which we recorded at the end of 2022 in December.
Yes.
And our goal was to take a few weeks off, to take a hiatus and to reconnect with our families. We shared in that episode kind of what 2022 had been to us and what we were looking forward to in 2023. And then we were going to get back together, right, T?
Correct. We queued up a bunch of upcoming adventures and we were going to keep everybody posted.
And then something happened.
Then a lot of things happened.
Yeah. And that podcast family, it's life, right? And so I don't know if this has happened to you if you're listening, but sometimes you make these really big, grandiose plans and then life happens. And so what Tara and I are going to do today as we welcome you back to the conversation and we welcome each other back to being together after way too long of a break, we're going to catch all up. So what we're going to do is take a little bit of time to reconnect, to share with y'all what we have been up to in 2023, and then to tease some more of our excellent adventures as we proceed and we move forward with this incredible thing that we call not only friendship, but this podcast. So in 2022, we ended our last podcast by teasing that when we got back together, we would talk about our excellent adventures and all of the things that we've been doing, right, Tara?
That's right.
And excellent adventures, whoa, that's what 2023 has been for us, hasn't it?
That is the theme for 2023 all day long.
So let me just recap. When we talked about things that we were looking forward to in 2023 in our last episode, and podcast family, if you haven't listened to that episode, please go back and listen to it because that's going to really frame where we are taking this conversation. But when we left off that episode, Tara, I asked you in December of 2022 what it was that you were looking forward to this year. And what I found interesting, and you're going to have to bring everyone up to speed, is one of the things that you said that you were looking forward to was your teams at work and how they were going to grow, change, and evolve.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how my teams at work grow and change and evolve. I'm really looking forward to what we're going to do as a team there.
Girl, you must be Nostradamus.
Yeah, re-listening to that episode to get ready for this, I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so tell our podcast listeners how your teams at work have grown, changed, and evolved.
Okay, well, let's not bury the lead. Let's jump right in. I have an entirely new team. Right after we recorded that episode at the end of December, some things started to come into place that were showing up as a really big new opportunity for me. And at the end of February, I accepted a job offer with a new bank that happens to be in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Right. I'm glad you said Nevada because I was going to share with our podcast family, you were not in Las Vegas, Texas.
That's right. It's not Las Vegas, Georgia. It's not Las Vegas, Florida. It's Las Vegas, Nevada. So I accepted that job sort of at the end of February, and I was living in Las Vegas on April 2nd.
Yeah. And for those folks that may not know, you're a Texan.
I am a Texan.
Born and raised in Texas for the 40-something years you've been on this planet.
That's right. Thank you for saying something. Yes.
Yeah. I got you, girl.
Yeah, I'm born and raised. So for me, this wasn't an easy decision. The job itself was a hell yes, but moving the family across the country was, okay, well, let's talk about it. I've never done a big move like that. There was a lot of things to consider. And at the end of it, we just were like, if not now, when? We're kind of calling it our midlife adventure, and Gage has come along with us. And I went by myself for the first couple of months so Gage could finish school here. So I was living there by myself like April, May, half of June. And then the boys came in the summer. And so we've all been full-time living there since mid-June. It's been a lot.
Yeah.
It's been a lot.
It has been. And so you've now been in this new role in this new city for several months. And again, podcast family, if you are a regular listener to our show and you were like, what happened? What happened? Blame Tara.
That's right. It's all my fault. I take full responsibility. I assure you.
No, not at all. So life happens, and you had this wonderful opportunity, and you and your husband and your son picked up, and of course, Casper the dog.
That's right. And Gizmo the cat.
And Gizmo the cat. Can't forget about Gizmo. You picked up and you left. And Gage, one of the other things you were looking forward to was having a teenager, because Gage turned 13 this year.
He did in July.
So share with us how it has been having this teenager and how it's been with him moving to a new area in a city. And if we have people in our podcast family that are listening and maybe considering moving or changing certain things of their life, things they might want to consider, or things that they need to be mindful of with children when you're doing this big move, how y'all have supported him in his adjustment.
Yeah, Gage was the biggest concern. I think Jason and I both are grown enough and been through enough to know that if we didn't like it, we'd move back, that kind of experience. But Gage was really a concern. And the school districts in Las Vegas are very different. So that was a concern. And so some of it was just logistics. Obviously, you have to kind of consider where you're going to live, what the school district looks like, if it kind of fits his current academic schedule. We were concerned about Boy Scouts, wanting to get him into a new troop out there. So I did a lot of the logistics stuff before we left, just to feel comfortable that we were going to be able to fit him into some things that would feel normal. I think because we moved in the summer, that helped a little bit, because he had a softer landing. Because when he got there in the summer and he wasn't going to school, and he was just hanging out at the house for a couple of months, that felt the same, right? He would have been doing that in Dallas. He would have just been hanging out at the house for the summer. So I think that was a softer landing. When school started, the bad part of that, or the tough part of that, was that we got lulled a little bit into like, everything's good, everybody's transitioning well, And when school was finally getting ready to start, that was when it started to really hit him. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but I just didn't see it coming. I wasn't as prepared as I wish I had been. Right. Because it was such a slow start since he came in the summer. And so, I think I shared this story with you. Everything had been really cool. He'd been super laid back about it. He had been given veto power of the move, and he had been on board. So we didn't do it without his consent and his discussion. But we're standing in line for Meet the Teacher the day before school starts at his new school. And he was being pretty quiet. All of a sudden, he looks at me and he goes, I wish I was in my old school. And
how did that make you feel?
Oh my God. I started to cry right there in the Meet the Teacher classroom. Just a little bit. I wasn't like sobbing or anything, but I felt really terrible. And, I gave him a hug, and I just told him, I'm so sorry. I know it's not easy. And it's just going to take time, and he was really cool. He was like, it's not that I'm super sad or anything. He goes, but I knew everybody there, and I knew the school, and I knew the teachers. And so it's really just a familiarity. And so I just said, that's just going to take time. In a couple of months, you're going to feel the exact same way here. You're going to know this school. You're going to know some people. And he was like, I know. And so for the first couple of weeks of school, it was kind of tough.
Yeah.
There were definitely a couple of nights with some tears from Mom, not him. But, what I think we did well is I just let him have those feelings, just talk about it. And he would come and just tell me what didn't feel good, what he wished, what he missed, that kind of stuff. And I just let him have those feelings, and he just let me have my feelings. And I told him, listen, I'm crying, but don't be worried about it. I'm just having my feelings too. And so we had some good conversations. And then one of the things that I did that I think helped, if you go through something like this, it's every day I was picking him up from school for the first week, and he would get in and tell me what was better at his old school, right?
Yeah.
The food was better at my old school, or the classrooms were bigger at my old school. And so finally, after 4 days of that, I said, okay, starting tomorrow, just give me one thing that's good. Like, give me one thing that went well or one thing that you liked. I go, and then you can continue to complain about everything else, but just give me one thing. And so we kind of started that about 4 or 5 days into school. And we did it for about 2 weeks straight, where I just really made him give me something that went well or something that he liked. And I started to see it turn. I started to see, like, I'd pick him up and he'd be smiling, or I'd pick him up and he'd have a funny story to tell me, or I started to hear, I told you this, I would ask him every day, are you making new friends? You know, and he would, no, because he's 13, by the way.
Of course.
But I started to hear the same names over and over again. And so then I started changing my question, like, who did you talk to today? What did y'all talk about? And that kind of thing. So he wouldn't say, like, oh, I've made friends, but I did hear him start to say he was talking to a couple of the same people all the time.
Right.
And so it was just, it's been this slow, and he's only been in school now for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's still in process, but it's getting better.
Yeah. And it's going to be a process. And thank you for sharing your story and for walking us through that. I think a lot of times we as moms, it's twofold, right? Because we're not just making decisions that are best for us. We're making decisions that are best for the family. And so you hit the nail on the head, right? Tara, you were saying when you were considering the move, it's not just, am I going to take this new job and what it's going to mean for my career? It's like, okay, now where's the family going to live? What's the school district? Where's the closest doggy daycare?
Right. Is Jason's career going to keep moving?
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
A lot to consider.
And then in some situations, and there's this Instagram reel or TikTok trend, and was talking about how the mental load of motherhood, right? When the mom is getting ready to go on vacation, all the things that she's concerning herself with. And similarly, when we're looking to move, it's like, okay, we're looking at neighborhoods and prices and property taxes and school districts and education scores and private schools. And sometimes our spouses are thinking about where's the closest In-N-Out burger.
That's true.
Right.
Is there Hawaiian food nearby? That's right.
It's like,
very important.
Is the Chinese food restaurant in walking distance, or where's the nearest?
Where will I get my truck washed?
Where's the nearest Planet Fitness?
That's right.
And then it's like, oh, and by the way, this is where the elementary school is, the middle school is. And then our partners may be like, oh, that's important too.
That's cool.
And so understanding how that impacts us and their happiness is tied so deeply to that, and how we internalize that, right? And just watching your eyes tear up when you were sharing kind of what Gage's first couple of weeks must have been like. You know, it's heartbreaking and it's heartwarming to see how you were able to navigate that. And I loved the tip about, let's not focus on the past. Let's focus about what's good with the here and now and how we can get that to move forward. Yeah. Because it's so easy to focus on the comfort of how things might have been, how things used to be. And it's harder to say, like, okay, there's this glimmer of hope in something that I see. So I'm really glad that he's turning that corner and coming out.
Yeah, he's doing well. I mean, I think we're settling in. And sometimes when it's hard, because it still is hard, I just have to remind myself, like, for them especially, it's only been like 90 days. Like, even for me, with a couple months extra, it really hasn't been that long. So we're trying to be patient with each other. We're trying to be patient with the process. And I would assume other moms would have, or other women would have this kind of thought process. But, you know, before we moved, one of my big concerns that I still have to wrestle with is, even though everybody signed up for it, you know, I feel this pressure for it to be successful because I'm the reason
it happened. Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot on you.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. In our last episode, in the 2022 year in review, you also said that we did what did 2022 mean to you? Like, I think our word of the year or something. And one of the things that you shared was that 2022 was your year of feeling joy and connected.
Yeah.
Let's carry that through to this year, which, gosh, I can't believe we're almost at the end of it. What has 2023 been to you so far?
It's been strange. So that joy and connection continued. And we're going to get into some of that fun stuff. But it's been a year full of fun girlfriend activities and trips. I've done a lot of that and continue that. And that's been amazing. What's interesting about me moving across the country is some of my friendships have gotten stronger since I moved. So that's been interesting. The connection with my family has been stronger because we're now in this new place and it's just the three of us. And so we're kind of like, we all we got, you know? So that's been stronger, which has been an interesting turn of events from the change. I would say that there's still a lot of joy, still a lot of connection, but this year has also been about me stepping into a bigger version of myself. You know, like this job is big and it's been a stretch, and this move is a big decision and it's been a stretch. And so this year has been about me sort of leaving behind some of my limiting beliefs and standing up and saying like, no, I deserve to be here. I earned this. This is mine and I can do it. And it's every day I'm having to like get in the mirror, like, I can do it. I'm a big girl.
Every day you look in that mirror and say, you got this.
I got this.
Yeah.
It's been interesting.
It's been so wild and wonderful to witness you on this journey, because I've known you now for 6 or 7 years. And what's wild is my very first memory of you, because we knew each other. You were one of my students in my indoor cycling class.
Right.
And you knew me, obviously. I saw your face, but didn't know who you were. But my very first memory of putting you together is we had a vision board one year. I think it must have been 2018.
It must have been.
And we had asked our riders or the members of our fitness studio to come in and put on there what they wanted for that year. And I knew at the time I worked at a bank. I was in-house counsel for a financial institution. I was reading what some of our members had put down, and no one put their name. And someone put to become a chief operating officer at a bank. And I was like, oh, someone else here works at a bank. I didn't know who it was. And so during conversations over the course of a few weeks, I found out that it was you. And I was like, that's going to happen for her. Now, it didn't happen that year.
It didn't. But here we are. Write it down, claim it, say it, and all the other things. So
that's
wild. And I remember that too. I remember you being like, who is this? And I was like, oh, that's me.
Why did you call me out? It was so much more gentle when I was saying, I just took time to find out.
Because it's a core memory for me, because I remember writing it down, and I remember you. And I think that was the first time you and I spoke to each other and realized we had more than just R&B music in common.
Correct. Our love for 90s hip hop was deep, but then our bond kind of deepened by a lot more things we had in common. So, So again, I have been your biggest cheerleader, and to see and witness kind of where you are and to be a part of your journey has just been one of the privileges of my lifetime.
Don't make me cry in here. All right.
Anything makes you cry.
I do cry a lot. We know that about me.
Anything makes you cry. So thank you for catching us up on your 2023 thus far. Really excited to see where the last season of this year takes you.
Yes. So at the end of 2022, let's talk about what you said, and then you can catch us up on you.
Okay, so recap. End of 2022, I was unemployed.
You were. That's
right.
Was. That's a good reminder.
That's a good reminder. At the end of 2022, I had gotten laid off from my job in tech. So those of you who've been following us since we started the podcast in 2020, when we started the podcast, I was in-house counsel for that bank.
Yes.
And then we started our anti-bias and anti-racism nonprofit, was doing that in my free time. And then I took a leap of faith in a position to head the diversity and inclusion and social impact program for a tech company that was headquartered in California.
Yes.
And with a lot of tech companies in 2022, I didn't have that on my bingo board, but it was the year of layoffs.
Yes, it was.
So I got laid off towards the end of 2022 and was unemployed. I'm looking forward to whatever professionally I decide to pivot and do. Looking for a new position and opportunity and a new career and opportunity to make an impact with an organization that has values that kind of reflect the values that I personally have.
Absolutely.
So if you're listening to that episode, that's kind of where I was at that season. And then take it away, Tara.
So as part of that story, one of the things that you said that you were looking forward to in 2023 was a professional pivot.
Yes.
And so let's talk about your professional wins this year in 2023.
And so far, thank you for that.
Yeah.
And yes, family, there have been some wins. For anyone who has experienced a loss or is in that season of uncertainty, it's hard because people around you are like, oh, you're going to find where you belong. It's going to be okay. But when you're in it, it's hard. Like when you're watching the last few weeks of your severance run out, it's hard. But as a woman of faith, I kept going, knowing that I was going to be okay. And what happened was right after we recorded that episode in December, my family, we went to New York And when I was in New York, I got called about a position being a director of diversity and inclusion for a company, a publicly traded company that's headquartered in Texas. And I assumed that role in February. It is a company whose values align with my personal values. I report to the chief diversity officer, who is a Black man. And it is the first time in my life I have ever worked for a Black male, and working for someone who personally I respect and professionally I admire and gives me something to look up to, and who in my career lets me do all of the things that I know I'm capable of and growing. And I see that he just wants me to win because he knows when I win, we win. It's a great team, and I could not be more excited. So I've been in that role since February, and I'm happy. I'm really happy in the role, Tara.
I know it's been exciting to watch that, because watching you go through the layoff and then looking for your next opportunity. But I've also watched you in your professional life the last few years move more toward what you're passionate about. And so when you were in that season of like uncertainty, you know, I tried to encourage you. And I think what I loved watching you hold fast to that, because it can get so desperate where you're like, just take the first thing.
Right. And there were legal jobs.
Yes.
People had reached out to me about going back to work at law firms. And I was like, ooh, the money would be good. And I didn't enjoy it.
Right.
So turning down those opportunities was a real leap of faith, you know, right? Yeah. And I'm very fortunate that my partner was like, no, do what you love to do.
Yes.
And the opportunity came at the right time.
Yeah, I loved it. And then we were kind of going through it at the same time. You know, I was going around my opportunity in February. You were going over yours. It was so interesting to do that together.
Yeah, it was.
Another thing you mentioned about being excited about in 2023 is that Roman is officially a high schooler.
Yes, and we are officially old.
I mean, does it feel like the home stretch?
Yes, and I need to be careful here so that you won't see me cry. But when we started recording the podcast for the first time, Roman was about to start middle school.
Right.
So we have gone through a couple of seasons together. Yeah. And now that he is in high school, it does feel like the home stretch. And it also then causes me to consider, have I prepared him right now enough, knowing that we only have a few more years and probably less than that. Because right now, I don't feel like I'm his mother. I feel like I'm his chauffeur. I literally am driving that kid everywhere because he's very active in community theater and after school programs. And I'm in the car hours a day. Yeah. And I know that's going to change in a little over a year when he starts to drive. And so I think when we look at high school and what the countdown is, it's really been for me a time for reflecting on if I am doing enough to prepare this human for the world, and that scaffolding, that care of just making sure I try to protect him as much as possible, that's coming down in a big way. And I just have to trust the good person that he is to start to make these good decisions. You know, he's going to his first homecoming dance soon. And he goes for rides with friends who drive. And so he goes out to dinner with them, and he goes out with them after rehearsals. And gosh, it's rough. It's hard.
That's a whole new season.
Yeah. And I haven't gotten the outfit together so I can like put on my sunglasses and also be at the restaurants where they are.
Your night vision goggles. You don't have your little spy kit together yet?
Yeah. Go to the host stand and say table for one on the other side of the restaurant.
I need to be able to see that group right there.
Like, ma'am, we're going to call the police on you. Don't think I haven't considered it. And I haven't done it yet. So that's a win for me in my book.
You get all the kudos for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All the kudos for that. And I will just say that I know your kid, and he is such a good kid, and he's so talented in theater.
Thank you.
Well, I got to see a couple of shows before I left, and he's just amazing. So I just wouldn't worry about it too much. He's a good kid.
Oh, I hope so. And again, as parents, we're just going to worry. That's in our DNA, and I'll worry, and I'll also trust that he's prepared for this season of his life. So as we get ready to wrap up this episode, there was one other thing I said at the very end of the last episode. And when we heard that back, we both fell out laughing. Yeah, it was crying tears. Right. So go ahead, Joey, who's our producer and also my husband, if you would just play that clip of what we ended the last episode with in our 2022 year in review, what Kaanji was looking forward to in 2023.
2023 was a great year. 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 2023 was
And I'm looking forward to going to all the concerts in the world with you.
All of the
Girl,
concerts.
we got so many concerts lined up.
We already got 2 lined up with 1 coming.
Yes. So you will hear all about that in season 5.
So that was it, folks. Kaanji's big 2023 was looking forward to going to all the concerts with me.
And who's Nostradamus now? Because, so when we said that,
Yep.
we had a couple of concerts lined up.
We did.
And we have really just expanded on that.
We have.
So one of the things about Tara living in Las Vegas is we know that we have to be extremely intentional with the time that we spend together. And knowing that both of us are into music, it kind of just happened that we were going to start going to all the concerts.
All the concerts.
Yeah, so we ended 2022 going to the Lizzo concert, and then there was the R&B music experience.
Correct.
With a lot of classic R&B acts from the 90s and early 2000s.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right, and then
We already had tickets for Janet Jackson.
Correct.
Which
So
was June of this 2023.
So you flew back from Vegas
Yes.
in June of 2023 so we could go to the Janet Jackson concert
Yes.
for my birthday weekend.
Correct.
And then you flew back to Dallas
For
the Beyonce concert.
For Beyonce, that's right.
And when we were recording this episode, it is in person. So I would like to say it's our first time being back in the microphones in person with each other since December of 2022. We've seen each other because of the concerts, but this is our first time recording together. And you came back so we could go to the Pink concert.
Yes.
Pink concert together. And unfortunately, something happened. It was the first time in my life this happened. 3 hours before the show, right?
Yeah, we're sitting on the couch watching Love is Blind, obviously.
Love is Blind. Yeah.
And Pink posts on Instagram, she's sick, no show, rescheduled.
Canceling and rescheduling the concert. And immediately my heart sank and I felt terribly because you had flown in from Vegas to see the concert. And I felt guilty. Like,
Which is so silly.
I know, but come on. How many of us, when things happen to people that we love, and it's like you take it upon yourself to feel that. And I know, I get it. There was nothing that any of us could have done, but still, I felt guilty.
Yeah. But I just had so much fun. I stayed here with you guys for a couple of days and we're recording the podcast. And so it was all a win.
Right. And so we were like, okay, Tara's doing all these trips to Dallas. Could only make it right if Kaanji goes to Vegas.
Hey, you guys, they have really good concerts in Vegas, just in case you were curious.
Is that you opening up your house to the podcast?
That's right.
Family?
You guys hit me up on Instagram. We have so many shows. Let's make it a thing.
So also, you cannot go the weekends. I'm going to be there because I will be there a lot. There are a lot of concerts that are going to be in Vegas. Up next, of course, we have Usher. And then maybe Babyface.
Oh my gosh.
You are going to see U2.
Yes.
But we have all of these concerts. Madonna, we were supposed to go to see, but Madonna's rescheduled.
Yeah, so that'll be in March. That's right. We did have tickets for that one. So that'll be in March now. So I'll come back to Dallas for that one.
Yeah. So again, presciently, I said, I want to go to all the concerts with you and have basically made that come true.
We have 100% done that.
So all I need to do next is like tell our family that I just want to see in 2024 some like manifested lottery numbers.
That's right. Yeah, I am looking forward to in 2024 making a lot more money. I need a big pile of money.
You need the money to support our concert
That's
addiction.
correct. That is correct.
Our concert addiction. And we'll talk about some of the concerts and more of our excellent adventures as we continue. But we did want to say that unfortunately, because of logistics, because of life, we are not going to commit to weekly podcast episodes, which we did for the majority of the pandemic. But what we will commit to is spending intentional time with each other and using this time to come back, to jump on the microphones and to bring you content when Tara and I just need some time to get back together and chat about life, about motherhood, about parenting, about being a woman in 2023 or as we move forward in 2024.
That's right. As one of my favorite songs, Never Can Say Goodbye, we're not doing it. So just make sure that if you are not already, that you follow the podcast on all your platforms, because whenever we do drop new episodes, they'll immediately be in your feed. And then that way you won't miss one when we pop in from time to time.
Exactly. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to do it like Beyonce. Like we're just going to like drop an episode.
Digital drop, just
and blow people's minds.
That is right.
Yeah, so we're like she did with Renaissance, right? We're not going to give any warning. We're not going to do a lead up. It's just going to be a present. We are the gifts.
You're going to wake up and you're going to pull your phone out to go on that morning walk and boom, Motherhood in Black and White on your podcast feed. So make sure you are following us. Make sure we're not super active on our socials, but we will, when there's big stuff, put something on Insta. So make sure you're following us there too, just for any fun announcements. We're going to turn this into more of a viral sort of podcast.
I like that.
I think that's what we're going to do. So make sure you're keeping track of us.
Yeah, and we're going to commit to what we can. That's it. We're not going to overcommit, but this podcast, this platform, and this family that we have created is something that is so special to not just me and Tara, but to so many of you all that reach out to us and continue to listen. And people were like, what happened?
I know.
Y'all said 2 weeks. People were like, y'all said you were going away for 2 weeks and it's been months. And we hear you and we apologize. And I hope you hear my heart podcast family when we say, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for lifting us up. Thank you for checking in on us. And if we can do anything to make your parenting journey, your life journey, just a little bit better, you know how to reach out to us. Tara just shared that with you. So we actually have to go pretty soon. This wrapping up this recordings as I take Tara to the airport and send her off back to Las Vegas. But thank you for tuning in. We hope that you continue to tune in for our viral episodes.
That's right. You never know
when the new episodes drop. So with that being said, we're going to sign off, podcast family. Guard your health, mental, physical, and spiritual, and take really good care.
But also, I am adopting I've heard this a million times, and I thought I adopted it, but I didn't. But in 2023, I'm adopting if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And I'm really looking forward to saying no more. I'm looking forward to that.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait.
Never to you, though.
No.
I only say yes to Kaanji.
Undoubtedly.